All right, so a big storm's coming in and it's about to start dumping on me here. I'd like to get this tomato plant in the ground before this happens. I have to cut it out of this thing. I don't think I'll be able to get it out otherwise. I will try and see what happens. In fact, let me go ahead and do that now. So I got this tomato plant at Home Depot, just the way it is, and I cannot get this off just like I thought. I'm gonna have to cut it off. So I decided to go ahead and grab one of the tomato plants that they have there just to see how well it'll do for me. Now I had this plant now for the past couple of weeks and it's been in this cage, and well, let's see what happens here if I can get this taken care of here. So let me bring you close and show you what I have going on here. Okay, so here's my tomato plant. Has a nice full top on it here. Actually, it has quite a few tops. If you look down here, it has a whole bunch of things going on here, right? So what I decided to do is I'm gonna bury this in the ground right here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bury it up to about there, up to about where this main stalk is. And so yes, I'm gonna just go ahead and let these peek out the bottom of the ground here. The idea of that is all of this will start to take root and become its own plant, and it'll be able to support its own system. So this entire plant right here will be supported by its own root system, as well as the roots already established here. Same goes with this here and this one here as well, and the one back here. So that's the idea. Those guys could stay on there, that's fine, because this main stalk whole root system that's in here is supporting that. So they'll be fine, and I'm not gonna take any of these buds off of here. I'm gonna leave them just the way they are, because honestly, it's not gonna hurt anything. So I don't know if you can hear in the background that it is going to start storming. The clouds above me are pretty dark on the one side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy in the ground as soon as possible here, because I don't want to be stuck out here when it does. I have a shed build behind me going on. I guess I'm not gonna be doing that today or finishing it today. But I stopped doing that to do this as quick as I can because I just wanted to get him planted in the ground. So here's what I have. I have some bone meal I'm gonna be throwing in there. And I also have some of this, the Burpees Enhanced organic. I'm gonna add that as well. That's a 844 mix. So there's plenty of all three to go around, and then I'm going to top it off with some, actually this is a peat moss. I grabbed the wrong bag, but that's fine. I'll top it off with some straw then and get him living in his new home. In the meantime, I have to go ahead and prepare the soil. Well, the storm is over now, and as you can see, it kind of took down my tomato plant here, since I did take the cage off and I had no upright protection. So but it's fine. So nothing broke, everything seems to be fine, nothing snapped. So we're gonna get this guy in the ground and get him posted up, so that way he can continue on his growth and give us a bunch of tomatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna make my hole right about here, and I'm gonna use my tool here, because what I want to do is get that whole entire root ball into this ground, all of it. I don't want to take it out of that root ball, and there's a reason for that. So let me go ahead and sit this aside right over here. The reason why I want to leave the root ball in is because this soil that I have here, this compost, this plant does not know this compost. It's been its whole life in the soil that's in that pot, and I don't want to put it through any type of shock. So that soil that is in the pot, it's already established too. Now, about now, there's going to be no riches to that soil. There's no nutrients whatsoever within that soil, but there's a ton of nutrients right here. I think that's good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him out. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and take just a little bit more off of here. Now you might be thinking, well, that's a really big hole, and it is. I'd rather do it right the first time and get him in there, because I do have to tip it over, and I don't want that much damage as I put him in the hole here. So I'm gonna go ahead and tip him over now, and just kind of give it a couple of taps on the side. I'm gonna hold on to it to make sure it doesn't snap. More on the side, and then I'm gonna flip him. This is gonna be tough, but I'm gonna flip it upside down here without damaging him. There we go. That worked. Now, what I'm gonna do is sort of massage the bottom of this. Not much, but just a little bit. And the reason why is because I want them roots down here to start reaching out and grabbing on to all the nutrients in the new compost. So as you can see there, I just a little, just enough to fray it a little bit. And I'm gonna put it right in the ground right there. And just as I suspected, it went in perfectly, exactly the way I want it to be. Now, I do want it to go up a little higher with the soil, and I'll get to that later as I put more compost into this bed. But for now, I just want to get him in the ground and get him posted so that he can kind of thrive and make it here and grab onto them nutrients and keep it pushing. So this is about how I want my tomatoes to set. Well, actually, so if I'm going to put my stake right through here, I think what I want to do is turn him like this. So I'll put it here to support this main stem here. So let me go ahead now and grab this dirt, grab this compost, and push it. I want to work it down into that crevice here. That's what I want to do. Just kind of work it down in there. I could have put some. I didn't put my bone meal like I wanted to, but that's okay. I'll put some in here to the top right now. Let me see here. You see them start to fall over? And that's okay, because I want to put steaks in there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this in here, even though we're pretty good with nutrients within this soil. I'm still going to put this in here anyway, kind of help it along. I'm going to put a whole bunch of, let me put a little bit more bone meal in here. And then I'm just going to work this soil right over top of that. There we go. Press it down a little bit. And that should be good to go there. Now, what I'll do is take some of this straw that I have. Earlier in the video, I pulled out peat moss by accident, but I switched it up for the right stuff now. And this will just hold that moisture in. It rained, and it rained a lot. We had a torrential downpour. So this ground will get watered in again, but it is a tomato. and I don't want the tomatoes that are on there to split. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave him hang over. He doesn't like to be hung over like that. But until I get that stake in the ground, there we go. He should be just fine. I'll have the stake in the ground in just a few minutes. Okay, so now that he's in the ground, I'm over here at the tomatoes that I have staked up over here in the other bed, and I gotta say, he is looking just perfect. So you can see I have watermelons growing down in here too. So he is nice and staked up and nice thick stalk, and he is doing very well. He's got 2 tomatoes right there now with a bunch more heading in. So there's a whole cluster right there, and I'm really happy about that. So you can see how I have him well groomed up all the way up to a certain point here. I have 2 tops on this tomato, and I like it that way because since I pruned it all the way from here up, since this is an indeterminate, that gives plenty of airflow down here at the base. But at the same time, up here it splits, and it splits right here into 2 tops. But these 2 tops also have, this one has 2 tops, okay? And then this one has 2 tops. So I have 4 tops on this tomato. I'm not gonna let it get any more tops than that. I'll let it grow out. The more tops you have, the less fruit you're gonna have as far as production wise here. And well, I have a bunch here now coming in, and I like to keep it that way. So I'm gonna go ahead, and it's not looking so great up top here though. So I have to figure this out and see what's going on. He has some kind of deficiency. So I'll feed him and make sure that he has plenty of food to keep him going. And if we round about this way here, we will see that I do have another tomato, okay? This little guy here, all my tomato plants are indeterminate. And this here also is as well manicured here. And he also has 2 tops. So these are essentially 2 different plants in one, with one root system. And then this one has 2 tops, and then this one has 2 tops, just like the other one here. So, but everything's moving along really nice. And anytime I see another top trying to come in, I just take it off. I just take that top off of there. And then if we work around to this side, we have yet another tomato plant, which same thing. It starts down here, it splits off right here, and over here I have 2 tops, and here I have 2 tops. That's sort of my theme. I love that. It works for me. I have 1 coming up. I have 2 split now, so that's 2 separate plants. Then each of those 2 plants have 2 tops, and they're gonna give me exactly what I need. And there's a whole cluster ready to pop out. There's another cluster ready to pop out. And sorry about that, down here is another cluster ready to pop out. All right, well, so that was the video for today. I don't want to bore you. I don't want it too long. I just wanted to get that guy in the ground, and I did, and show you around some of my other tomatoes that I have going on here. And I tell you what, I love it. I love it. Everything's working out great. The season is looking good for me, and I'm excited. I'm happy about it. I do have a bunch of other stuff I want to show you, and that'll be in the next video. Everything's growing lush, and now that we have all that rain, we're expected to have rain again in the next couple days, for the next few days of downpour. So I'd like to get all this taken care of today, so I can secure everything and make sure everybody's happy, and get some fertilizer, feed some of these plants before that rain happens, and that rain can then help push some of that fertilizer into the root system for me. I don't have to water them down as much. It'll do it for me. So Mother Nature, right? So, okay, well, that's the end of the video for today. Stay tuned to watch the next video, and I do have a garden update coming soon, and that update is to finish what I started here as far as the new garden build. So stick along with me here and watch how I build that out. I have the idea in my head now. I know exactly what I want to do, and I can't wait to execute that plan. It's going to be awesome. All right, so thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.